Welcome to the Geek, the History Geek. I'm Mr. Hodges. I was sitting here updating my weekly to-do list in my planner, and I started to consider the days of the week. We have things like Manic Mondays and Taco Tuesdays and Wacky Wednesdays and Throwback Thursdays, Black Friday and Saturday Night Fever, and well, how about Sunday, Bloody Sunday? There are so many more that I could add here. But what I realized is that we really take for granted time, especially our week. It is something that has an effect on our lives every single day. However, have you ever really considered where our concept of a week comes from and why? This made me wonder, where did the format for our week originate? How were the number of days decided? And where did the names of the week come from? And, well, what was the meaning behind those names? Stay with me as we explore this fascinating topic. Today, our lives revolve around a 7-day week. It is important to understand that the week has not always been 7 days everywhere throughout history. For instance, the ancient Egyptians had a week that was 10 days long, and the Mayans had weeks that were 13 and 20 days. Many historians that focus on this topic believe that the origin of our 7-day week is likely based on the Babylonian calendar, which was in turn based on the Sumerian calendar. Some historians point to the possible origin of the 7-day week getting started following the conquering of Ur and several other Sumerian cities by Sargon I, the king of Akkad. This was done during the mid-2300s BC. The Sumerians and the Babylonians observed, studied, and recorded their observations of the heavens. These formed the basis of their calendar and their week. The historical record shows that Sargon I instituted a 7-day week, which is the first example of a 7-day week to be in the historical record. It appears that the number 7 may have had some significance to them. The number 7 has been thought to have had magical properties. The ancients could observe 7 celestial bodies: the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. The 7 days also corresponded to the Babylonian number of days for each phase of the moon into transition. So 7 days for full, 7 more for waning half, 7 for a new moon, and 7 for a waxing half. It is thought that there might have also been religious significance behind the importance of the number 7. The number 7 is believed to symbolize completeness or perfection and is believed to be tied to a divine creator. In antiquity, there were 7 heavenly bodies, 7 wonders of the world. We have 7 continents and 7 seas. Coincidence? Even today, many of the modern world religions, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and even many of the Eastern religions reference the number 7. Many people today also consider the number 7 to be lucky. We even see this on modern slot machines where the number 7 is used to represent the jackpot. It appears that the tradition of a 7-day week was passed on to the Jewish Hebrew tradition during their period of captivity in Babylon. In addition, it was shared with the Persians and the Greeks. The Greeks under Alexander the Great spread the 7-day week as far as India, and from there it is believed to have been shared with China. When the Romans conquered the territory of the former Greek Empire, they would shift from their 8-day week and eventually adopt the 7-day week too. This would be made official by Roman Emperor Constantine in 321 AD when he officially adopted the Julian calendar. The Greeks and later the Romans would essentially adopt the Sumerian week and simply change the names of the Sumerian gods to their equivalent Greek and Roman god names. Therefore, under the Romans, Moon would become Dies Lunae, Mars Dies Martis, Mercury Dies Mercury, Jupiter Dies Loves, Venus Dies Veneris, and Saturn Dies Saturni, and the Sun Dies Solis. The English words for our days of the week are still connected to the Roman tradition. Much of the island of Britain was conquered by the Romans, and following the collapse of the Roman Empire, the island would gain shared culture through invasion and contacts with Germanic peoples such as the Anglo-Saxons, and the Norse, and through the sharing of Germanic and Norse myths. In fact, many of the Germanic peoples would also adopt the Roman calendar system and would equate their own gods with the Roman gods. Now, it is important to note that their gods were often not equivalent to the Roman gods as far as, god status, but would often share similar qualities. For instance, Jupiter was the god of thunder and lightning, and the Norse equivalent was Thor, the Norse god of thunder and lightning. The Roman goddess of Venus was the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, and the Norse equivalent was Freya, the wife of Odin. They did this with each of the gods except for Saturn. Since the Germanic and Norse traditions did not have an equivalent, they retained the Roman name instead. So let's look at the Roman gods versus their Germanic Norse equivalents. The Romans had Solus, and the Germanic had Sana. Then we had Luna versus Mani. Mars was then either Tu or Tyr. Mercurius was Woden or Odin. Jupiter was Thor. Venus was Freya. Saturnus was Satyr. Interesting. With the mixing of these cultures, this would be reflected in the Anglo-Saxon Old English words for these days. It is from these names that we get our modern-day names for the week. For instance, Sana would be Sonnendag, and this is where we get the word Sunday from. Mani, we get the word Monendag, or Monday. Tu, we get Tuesdag, or Tuesday. And Woden would be Wodensdag for Wednesday. Thor, you guessed it, Thursdag and Thursday. Freya, Frigasdag, and it would be Friday. And Satyr would be Saturnusdag, or Saturday. It is important to note that the week started with the sun and ended with Saturn. Because of this, we see a couple of religious traditions that stay with us even today. In the Jewish Hebrew tradition, the celebration of Shabbat, or the day of rest, is on the seventh day, which is on Saturday. From the Hebrew Shabbat, we get the Latin word sabbatum, and the origin of our word for Sabbath. Christian tradition began to celebrate their religious observances on Sunday because it is believed that Jesus was resurrected on the first day of the week. That day became known as the Lord's Day, which comes from the Latin Dies Domini. This is likely another interesting change for the church, from the worship of the Son to the worship of the Lord, God's Son. So now you know a little bit about the origins and the history behind our modern day days of the week. I hope that as you read over a calendar or hear somebody say a day of the week, or as you put something down in a calendar, that you take a moment to think about its very ancient origins, going all the way back to the Sumerians. Consider for a moment that with each passing day, we look back at the past. And I also want you to consider how the past has a small effect on our lives each and every day. I encourage you to share what you have learned with the people you know. As always, if you like this video, I would encourage you to share it with others. And please vote for more history by giving it a like. This simple act can really help the channel out with the YouTube algorithm. I want to take a moment to thank all the people that have supported the channel by subscribing. Thank you. I would also like to urge new viewers or those that have not yet subscribed to please do so. It is free and it is something that is no cost to you. Be sure to click on the bell to receive all push notifications for future videos. Remember, my friends, there is a lot more fascinating history left to explore. With that in mind, remember that 7 days without the History Geek Did You Know makes 1 week. To fix this, take some time to explore some of the past videos on the channel. I know you will learn some interesting historical facts. Well, that's all for now. So until the next time when I ask the question, did you know? I am Mr. Hodges, and this is the History Geek.